Now let's look at the war in West Asia. Israel continues to pummel Gaza. Ceasefire talks are on. The world is desperately trying to bring about a truce before Israel enters Rafah, the last remaining refuge for Palestinians in Gaza. US President Joe Biden hopes to announce a ceasefire by Monday. That's very optimistic. But his optimism is not shared by others in the White House. In fact, some think that even if a truce is announced, the fighting will continue. It may not continue in Gaza. They're afraid that Israel may open a new front against Hezbollah in Lebanon. The US fears that Israel may even launch a ground operation, starting another full-scale war. Here's our report.
If there is anyone here who thinks that when we will reach a deal to release hostages in the South Gaza and the fire stops, this will make things easier than what is happening here, they are wrong. We will continue the fire and we will increase it regardless of what is happening in the South until we achieve our goals. The goal is simple: to withdraw Hezbollah to where it should be, either by agreement or we will do it by force.
That was Israel's defense minister, Yoav Gallant. He sent out this message on Monday while inspecting Israel's defenses in Safed. Safed is a city in the country's north, about half an hour away from the Israel-Lebanon border. This region has been a hotspot. Since October 7th, Israel has been trading fire with Hezbollah. Both sides have engaged in cross-border shelling almost daily. But Israel hasn't stopped at just that. It regularly conducts airstrikes in Lebanon. This shot was taken yesterday. It shows an Israeli jet near the border. The Israeli army said it took down a Hezbollah weapons storage facility. But on Monday, the day Gallant released his message, there was an escalation. Israel had attacked Hezbollah in Baalbek, a city far away from the Israel-Lebanon border. It was the farthest north that Israel had struck, and they did it to take out Lebanese surface-to-air missile defense systems. These missiles had brought down an Israeli drone, so they had to go. The attacks so far north and the defense minister's statements have sent alarm bells ringing. Israel's top ally, the US, is now worried. They believe Israel may be preparing to launch an incursion into Lebanon. Reports say that Biden administration officials are getting intelligence briefings about this. The incursion could take place in a few weeks. This could occur irrespective of what happens with Hamas and Gaza, because Israel has a different objective when it comes to Hezbollah. They want the group to back away from the border and establish a Hezbollah-free buffer zone to ensure the safety of citizens in northern Israel. You see, Hezbollah is way more dangerous than Hamas. They have a mix of long and short-range rockets. They have advanced weaponry that can cause serious damage. Now, Israel knows it cannot eliminate Hezbollah completely, so it wants to push the group away from the border. Israel says they want to do this diplomatically, and the US is in talks with Lebanon to try and arrange this. But if the talks fail, Israel says it'll push Hezbollah back by force. American officials are now worried, because this course of action will be disastrous. A war in the north would be far more deadly for Israel. To even consider this escalation is asking for trouble, and it risks the war expanding across the region. So then why is Israel threatening to do this? They say it's to ensure the safety of citizens in northern Israel. About 80,000 have been displaced by the uptick in cross-border firing. Israel says it wants to send them back home and keep them safe from Hezbollah. But is there a political motive too? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under pressure. Some blame him for failing to prevent the Hamas attack in October. While the war is on, his premiership is secure. But what happens when the fighting stops? Won't the Israelis want to hold him accountable? Reports say that this is what Netanyahu wants to avoid. If the war doesn't end, he doesn't get hauled up. It's cynical to the extreme, and we have no proof that this is what Netanyahu is planning. But Israel's recent actions have done nothing to dispel these dangerous rumors doing the rounds.